Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Allie and I am the founder of Aquarian Soul, the original crystal-infused apothecary, and author of Plant Magic for the Beginner Witch and Herbs and Crystals DIY. My channel is all about herbs, crystals, and plant magic. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make dragon's blood oil. In last week's video for the money oil, a viewer requested me to share my recipe for this dragon's blood oil. This oil is so easy to make, I almost just made it as an Instagram story, but this way it's a little easier to give you guys some more in-depth information. All you're going to need for this recipe is dragon's blood resin and oil, but I'm going to add a couple more things to give it a little extra oomph. So if you're ready, let's get started. You're going to start off by turning your resin into a powder. You can do this fairly easily with a mortar and pestle. You can also add it into your oil in larger pieces, but it will take a little bit longer to melt down. There are two species of dragon's blood that are used in magical workings. Dracena cinnabari, which is the original dragon's blood that was used by the ancient Romans, also known as medieval dragon's blood. This species is found near Yemen in the Arabian Sea. The second species is known as Dracena draco, which is from the Canary Islands. This is more easily found in my experience, and from what I hear, since I haven't worked with the cinnabari species, is that it's a slightly more sticky, resinous texture to it, and the Draco version is more powdery and it leaves a lot more residue in the bottom of your oils. And if you've worked with both of these species, leave me a comment down below and tell me your experience with using either one of these. I'm actually very curious. Once you have your resin all nice and powdered, just set it to the side and put it into a little jar for now. Place a small pot or saucepan over medium heat and fill it about halfway with water, and then place a small measuring cup into the water. Pour your sunflower oil or whatever oil you're going to be using into your measuring cup. You don't need to worry about scorching your oil or using a high heat oil because we're only going to be barely simmering it. And go ahead and add in your powdered dragon's blood. I don't use exact measurements, but I would say I used about a cup of sunflower oil to about a third of a cup of dragon's blood. This ingredient is optional, but I like to add it to my dragon's blood, and I'll be using 3 cinnamon sticks, which I will be grinding up in my mortar and pestle. And cinnamon is used for potency, for fast workings, for your manifestation coming to you quickly, and it adds a really nice scent. So I'm going to add this into my dragon's blood oil, but it's not necessary. And dragon's blood doesn't have that strong of an aroma on its own, so adding in the cinnamon while you're steeping it will add that beautiful scent to it for you. If you don't have any cinnamon sticks or you prefer to use essential oils, you could use about 5 to 6 drops of cinnamon essential oil once your oil has cooled down, so you don't scorch your oils. Dragon's blood is like the blood of a tree. It is the same color as blood, and just like our blood, it gives the essence of life. It gives life to your spells, it adds that extra spark to any of your workings, it aids in manifesting things quickly, adding potency and speed. You can use it for love, healing, protection, pretty much all areas of magic you can use dragon's blood. You can anoint yourself with it, your tools, and you can even add it into other oils to give them that extra potency and speed. In my oil recipe, I like to add in crystals. As you guys know, I add them into everything. And I'm going to be adding a clear quartz. And clear quartz is the master healer, and it readily adapts and takes on whatever energy you put into it. So whatever the intention for this oil is for you, I would meditate with this clear quartz for a few minutes and just put your intentions into it. And I'm also adding a carnelian. Carnelian is known for personal power, for strength, vitality, both physically and spiritually. So that's why I'm adding this in. You could also add in a garnet, especially if you're going to be using this oil mainly for love workings. That's a great stone to add. But if you don't have either of these, just omit them or just simply add in a clear quartz because that's quite easy to find and they're relatively cheap. And next you're going to want to strain your oil. I'm using a fine mesh sieve here, and if you guys are wondering, I left the oil over the burner for maybe 30 minutes. It doesn't take very long for the dragon's blood to infuse. If you wanted to keep the pieces in your oil and you didn't want to strain it, that's fine too. It'll just continue to infuse and the color will continue to seep out into the oil and turn darker with time. But honestly, once you've left it on the stove for 30-40 minutes, it's totally unnecessary and you don't need to leave the pieces in. And lastly, I'm going to burn a red candle over the top of this oil. As you guys know, I'm always burning candles over the oils to charge them. If you wanted to use an orange candle, that would work well too, but if you only have a white candle, that works just as fine. If you wanted to carve some sigils into your candle that represent personal power, manifestation, the outcomes coming quickly for you, whatever kind of personal protection or power sigils you want to carve into it, that would be great, but you don't have to do that either. Just take some time and sit with your oil and really think about the intention and the purposes for which you're going to be using this oil. And once the candle burns down, since we already put this over the stove, it's ready to go. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!